Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa. And if you're ready to ascend, you want to hear this interview. Carrie Asuncion is in the house. She's a business and life coach, and we know that business development is spiritual development. True believer of that. How are you? Thank you so much for coming here. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me here today.
Of course, it's our pleasure.
Yeah.
We're excited to have you.
It's been such a wonderful experience getting to know some of the other women and just being here.
Well, it's your birthday weekend also, right?
It is.
Oh, happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Are you doing anything special to celebrate?
Well, hello, I'm here. Yeah.
Birthday
And spending
accomplished.
time with family and friends.
So you've really mastered living life like a rock star, right? Do you feel like a rock star today?
I do. It feels so, well, I have to say, just being here today, I had an opportunity to reflect on what it's meant to, I'm 54, or going to be 54. And the journey here has been phenomenal. I mean, I can remember a time where I couldn't do this. I wouldn't have been able to be in front of the camera. I didn't want to speak. And, you know, what do they say? People would rather die than speak, right?
Yeah.
And to have an opportunity to be able to make an impact in people's lives, I primarily work with women. And I help them really align with what's most important to them, what's in their heart.
So what do you think in your work with these women is the biggest block for them, the biggest hurdle they need to overcome?
So what I see is doubt, fears, and confusion. So, and not enough. I keep on hearing that time and time again. And even those women who are tremendously accomplished will say, I don't have enough experience. And I'm like, hello, you have so much to offer the world. And it's just a matter of tapping into that and having them realize, and I like to work with the women and help them realize that they are so much more than this physical body, that they are being guided along their path. Some might call that the God breadcrumbs.
Love that.
Wow.
I love that. So
It's
fun.
such an interesting thing. You know, I've sometimes we've talked about the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is this idea that success is more highly correlated with confidence than with competence. You know, that, and so it's really important for those women that are competent, but that includes really all women, to be increasingly confident. How do you help them build their confidence?
By doing.
By doing.
So it's
By
a
doing.
process of saying, so what is it that lights you up? And so they know that by actually in their body saying, so, and you can do this in your own body, right? Is saying like, so what really makes me expansive, or what shuts you down? So follow that which makes you feel more expansive and do it. And that's, I think, my job as a coach is to say, and we're gonna do things that aren't gonna be as comfortable for you.
We call it walking through the fire. Oftentimes we'll work with people and they get to this place where it's like the cars will break down. Something will happen major in their life because it's like it just stops them. Like literally. Do you watch that? Do you watch the women or men go through that wall of fire? What do you call it? How do you help them go through that?
Well, I actually tell them to anticipate it.
Yeah, totally, completely.
Right? You can, being here, you know this, right? And so I just recently finished up an intensive leadership program. And what I began to realize that intention is everything. Intention is everything. It's so that we have so many different ways that we can actually arrive at a space. So, but asking yourself, you know, so you're talking about how do we come in contact in with all of the upheavals that happen, and you basically anticipate it, and you know that you are stronger than anything that's in your path.
Do you remember the first moment you listened to your own intention or intuition?
Yes, I do. So I can remember sitting in church, and I had always wanted to be, I either wanted to be the President of the United States, I know, or a teacher.
She didn't want to talk.
I didn't want to talk. Or I wanted to be a teacher. And I remember sitting down in a moment in church, and I got the vision that I was meant to go back to school for my advanced degree in psychology. And I thought I had left that behind. And ever since then, opening those doors to intuition and my vision, and just being here, I felt like this is part of it. Because, okay, I had this vision recently, which was women rising up, activating their purpose and their passion. So women, luminaries, like the women that have been on this panel today, and you gals, and everybody that's watching, standing hand by hand, appreciating those who came before us and those who we're going to be influencing going forward. and
chills.
getting warm just thinking about
I
it.
just love this. Michael Beckwith actually speaks pretty eloquently about the difference between visualization, which is something that you force and you try hard at, and visioning, which is something that you receive. You know, it's an intuitive kind
Very
of thing,
different.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how do you help people work through that a little? Because I do think there's incredible power in receiving, sort of tapping into that intuition. It's more of a visioning process than forcing a visualization that you think you should
So
be,
true.
you know, living up
Yes.
to in some way.
Okay, thank you. Great question. Because many of the women that I'm working with, they're trying to figure it out in their head, right? And what I do is I teach them how to embody it. So there's a process that I use, which is activating your heart's intelligence, basically. It's a heart-mouth process. And I ask them to sit in that space of imagining where they would like to be in 3 years' time. And it's amazing what comes through. And what I tell them is don't edit. Because so often we tell ourselves, oh, I don't know how, or I can't do that. That's that gremlins of doubt, fear, and confusion that we were talking about. And instead, I say, let's not do that. Just listen to what your heart has to say. Feel the feelings, note what's coming up. It's like a sensual experience.
Oh, I love that. And I love that you mentioned the heart math, because we know heart math, they're an organization, it's empirically driven, right? Data-driven organization that's come up with these principles and tools and techniques for creating change in your life.
Yes.
Right? But doing it through the heart.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah.
Such a great organization for sure. So tell people where they can find and work with you. Do you work one-on-one? Do you work in group? How do you work?
I do all of the above. Yes, and I do a lot of my work virtually. So even though I live on Central Coast, California, I work with people from all over the world. So they can find me at keystoempowerment.com. And one of the things that I'm doing is I'm actually offering people consults, an opportunity to sample what it's like to actually live into their purpose and their passion to get greater clarity.
Love that. Who
Thank
doesn't want
you.
keys?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want
Certainly
keys.
rise together, don't we? Stay tuned. We'll back with more on Good Morning LaLa.